Philadelphia State House on this day in 1787, the very same place where the Declaration of Independence was signed 11 years ago, there's a convention being held here to create a new and improved frame of government for the United States. For in the words of George Washington, the Articles were too weak to bind the states together, thus presenting a quarreling group of states rather than a united nation for the rest of the world. There are some strengths under the Articles of Confederation, but the weaknesses outweigh the strengths. The weaknesses are that the government cannot raise taxes, there's not enough government, and the states produce their own money. Some strengths are coin and borrow money, operating post offices, and declare war and make peace. Many people are unhappy with the convention and changing our legal system, and those people will... Many people are unhappy with this convention and changing the legal system, and these people will be talked about in the editorial later today.
Hello there, I'm reporting outside Independence Hall, right here in the home state of Pennsylvania. Breaking news, today on June 21st, 1788, the Constitution has finally become the law after 9 out of 13 states have ratified it. The Constitution was drafted in 1787 and signed on September 17th of that year, and drafted in less than 100 working days. Unfortunately, 2 of our founding fathers didn't sign the Constitution. Mr. Thomas Jefferson was representing his country in France, and Mr. John Adams was in Great Britain. Now we welcome Riley to the news station.
Hi, I'm here to tell you about the pig race between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists that's going to be happening later today.
Oh.
Hey, y'all! You better hurry! You're gonna miss the 15th annual pig race between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists! Let's go! Yeah, everyone.
First, on the Federalist side, we have Alexander Hamilton's coach, MaKayla, and the Anti-Federalist side, we have John Hancock's coach, Bree. Let's have a word with the coaches to see how this race is going to go. MaKayla, what are your motives behind this race today?
Oh, well, we Federalists here are in favor of the ratification, and we're here to stress the weakness in our voice, and we're going to blow this pig race away.
Well, we Anti-Federalists say that we oppose that idea, and let's add in the Bill of Rights.
Oh my gosh, well, all right, well, let's get this race on the way to see who's going to win this fine trophy over here on this nice, beautiful, sunshiny pig racing day.
This should be on like America's Funniest Home Videos. Hillbillies chasing pigs.
Now it's time for the results we've all been waiting for. An amazing, fierce pig race between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists.
Well, hi there! You looking good!
I had to clean up for this here award ceremony. Looks like you did too.
Yes, thanks. I'm so excited.
Oh, no, I heard them there pigs ate all the prize corn.
Well, I heard that too. Mine didn't even get any.
Mine too. Mine either.
Well, that ain't fair.
I tell you what, it ain't.
I guess we're just gonna have to compromise.
Okay.
We'll ratify the Constitution with the Bill of Rights.
Right.
The Constitutional Convention is a very controversial happening here in the colonies. Many people such as James Madison and Alexander Hamilton were some of the most active Federalists. Federalists were the ones who stressed the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation. They argue that many difficulties facing the Republic can be overcome only by the creation of a new government which is based off the Constitution. Anti-Federalists such as Patrick Henry, John Hancock, and Samuel Adams are attacking nearly all the parts of this document. The states being unable to print their own monies is one of the problems that anti-Federalists have. Also, they believe that the central government has too much power. I personally agree with the Federalists that there's not enough government to control the population. Many outbreaks of violence have caused many more people to be on the Federalist side. For example, Shays' Rebellion, which happened in 1787, the rebellion was caused because of the economic condition and the landowners' lack of payment, which is causing them to go into debt and lose their land. Well, what's hot and what's not, you may ask? Well, let me put my tea and crumpets down and tell you. Powdered hair for men? Will you pause it?
Now that's hot.
Now that's hot.
Now that's not hot.
Now that's hot.
Now this is hot.
Now this is not hot. Now that's not hot.
No, that's not hot.
Now this is hot.
We got a flash of news from the Pony Express that Mr. Washington opted out of getting these dentures today.
Now for the interview we've all been waiting for with Mr. Washington. It's good to have you, Mr. Washington. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite dandy, thank you. I just got back from getting my new wooden dentures.
Oh yes, they're looking good. So, could you take some of your precious time and tell us about the Virginia Plan, New Jersey Plan, and the Great Compromise?
Why, yes, I can. The Virginia Plan, written by James Madison himself, presented a federal government divided into 3 branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial government power, which must be divided in order to keep government from being corrupt. The Virginia Plan passed
What, Mr. Cat?
into a...
Getting a little frisky?
Oh yes, this kitty of mine. Oh geez. Where was I? Oh, I must tell you. The Virginia Plan forced the convention into a conflict of interest between the large states and the small states. The states with a smaller population wanted equal representation in the legislative branch of the government with that of the states of the larger population. As for the New Jersey Plan, you may ask?
Yes, the New Jersey Plan.
Well, the idea of equal representation was an argument proposed by the smaller states who were afraid that the larger states would control the government and population was the sole basis for representation. The solution to the problem, you may be wondering, of large state tyranny, equal representation by each state was contained in the New Jersey Plan, which called for only 1 House of Government. 1. Each state would have an equal number of representatives in Congress.
Ah, so can you tell us why the Great Compromise was so great?
Well, I must tell you. Now, the Connecticut Compromise, also known as the Great Compromise, was truly great. Well, it's agreed that Congress should be composed of 2 houses, and the smaller Senate. The states would be represented equally and in the House of Representation of each state would be based upon the population. As I said before, it was truly great.
Yes. And what about the 3/5 compromise?
Oh well, the 3/5 compromise was an agreement at the Constitutional Convention to count as a slave the 3/5 of a person, determining the population of the state toward representation.
Ah, well, thank you for your precious time and sharing this with us today, Mr. Washington. It's been a pleasure having you.
Anytime, darling. I'll just come up and ride my pony up in here.
Oh yes, we got news from the Pony Express earlier that you didn't get the goat dentures.
Oh, yes, that was a very hard decision, but I chose the wood one.